Hey guys, this is Remy.
This is Nima. Welcome to episode 3 of Steadiocast, which I'm going to try to change the name to that.
Cool, sounds good.
This week, we're going to be talking about Batman versus Superman, but before we even get started on that, thanks for whoever listened to episode 2, which was Sense 8. I think that went pretty well.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was not that good, but
I listened to it. It was good.
Yeah, you listened to it all the way. I listened to some portions. I like some of what the. Oh man, I can't talk this morning.
That's all right.
I like some of the discussions we had about the making of it and what we thought the producers were trying to do.
Yeah, and honestly, I think I'm at the point in my life where I don't care how bad I sound or how annoying I sound. I just enjoy all of it.
Yeah.
So it might not be a good barometer, but I thought it was a good episode. And to do a follow-up, I made a note here. They started either filming season 2 or started announcing locations for season 2. So far we have Amsterdam, Sao Paulo, and Istanbul.
You know what I think about that?
What's your theory?
This might mean that the less exciting thing might mean that the characters are meeting in those places, the characters that we know, or they're going to start looking at a new cluster.
I still don't think so. But okay. But you mentioned
these places are really like Sao Paulo is like close to Mexico, but it's not close at all. Istanbul is close to Cala, but it's pretty far. And in Amsterdam, it's not Germany, it's not London, it's not Iceland. So it's like you know, a lot of things could be happening the next season. So I'm excited about that.
I'm pretty excited too. Just to catch everybody up, last week we had the show about Sense8. Next week it's going to be House of Cards season 4, and we just decided actually this morning, which by the way it's still morning here. The following week after that is going to be Upstream Color, which we're going to talk about as a movie that came out. It's an independent movie that came out.
I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to watch it. Apparently, it's according to Nima, it's kind of like Unbreakable. I don't know if you guys watched that, but it's one of my favorite movies. It's like a superhero movie,
it's the best superhero movie ever.
It's just it's much darker, settled. There's no fancy dumb costumes like Superman, which is our show today.
Yeah, I know.
So you
mentioned Superman. So
yeah,
because we decided to watch Batman versus Superman today, which by the way, we haven't seen yet. We're going to take a break.
It came out yesterday. We're the 26th.
We're going to be taking a break shortly and go see the movie and then come back and do the episode. But you just saw Man of Steel this week.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I thought it was great. I thought the intro sequence that shows his parents and the whole, you know, the few events that led them to send their son into Earth, into space, into Earth. Superman's father is like a mad scientist, and he's really good, and he's part of like the higher ups. You know, he's high there in the hierarchy of that planet, which is Krypton. But beautiful,
Russell Crowe, right?
Huh?
Russell Crowe, he did a great job.
Oh my gosh, like the acting, the cast of that movie, I thought was great. I love some of the, like, back to the whole Matrix thing that we talked about in Sense8, like the whole harvesting of the babies.
Yeah,
it looks like the Matrix.
It looks just like that. Yeah.
You know, a lot of things like his dad says, like, you know, he'll be a god to them, the people on Earth. I thought that was pretty cool. You know, like a lot of the simple but powerful dialogue at in this intro scene. I finally know. Okay, first of all, I've never been a fan of Superman. I may have watched some cartoons in my childhood. I never really thought he was that cool. I'm not a superhero kind of guy. I didn't even like the last Batman movies.
Correct.
Sorry.
Which we'll talk about.
All you haters.
Yeah.
But I did not know that the Superman logo meant hope in Krypton. And
I don't think it always had. I think that might be a new thing for this movie.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I really love their armors, dude. They're badass armors.
When they come to Earth, the Batman.
No, even before that, like when
right.
General Zod and
when they're over there
and Superman's dad they have the fight.
That whole opening sequence was incredible,
dude. It was incredible. My favorite, like, as far as all movies I've seen about science fiction and planets exploding.
Oh yeah,
that explosion of Krypton is the best planet explosion.
When it's coming at her, at the Superman's mother from the distance.
But the the shot from outer space.
Oh, yeah.
Where you see the planet. That's better than Star Wars planet explosions. It made more sense. It looked more real. I like that they explain like Clark's over sensory input. Like his senses are baffled by how much shit he's able to like see and hear and all that and feel.
When he's a kid at Earth, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. They had a lot of Windows phones, I think.
They did. It was one of those product placement things.
Oh, and speaking of House of Cards, next episode, Doug is one of the reporters.
Yeah,
in,
he is.
He's one of Lewis's coworkers.
You're absolutely right. So let me ask you.
That's it for me on that.
Well, I don't want to take up too much time before we take a break, but what did you think? Because the movie caught a lot of negative feedback, and everybody's feedback was simply more or less the death toll in the movie that you can imagine, or what happens in the third act, which is that insane action sequence. I loved it. I thought that was the whole point
what
of the
happens
movie.
that third act?
Well, a huge portion of Metropolis got destroyed because of that.
That's probably why Batman's so upset at Superman.
Yeah, I thought that was a great sequence.
Yeah.
And one thing is, Christopher Nolan produced both of these movies, and his brother, I think, helped even write the first one, maybe. So they were heavily involved in making that first Man of Steel. And what's interesting is when they made Man of Steel, the production or the plans for this DC Universe movie lineup that's coming up weren't fully in place. So that's really interesting the way they did it, because they couldn't really plug any other movies, but they left it open because they knew hopefully something would be following up.
Well, they probably had the Batman thing ready to go because of all the destruction in Man of Steel.
Like even at the point that I think Man of Steel was released, they were still trying to figure out script ideas for Batman versus Superman.
Well, that's interesting. I feel like, again, like I'm not a fan of the Superman suit. I think that's so lame. And I was hoping they would make something cooler, which they have hinted at cooler suits.
Yeah.
Apparently Kryptonians wear lots of suits, and some of them are pretty cool looking.
Even the one that
Superman's is not cool looking.
I love the Superman suit in the dream sequence. I would call it the dream sequence later in the movie, because it's all like dark purple or black, and it looks great.
I believe that they should take those superhero movies to an even darker spot starting now. Because, that movie, Man of Steel, was great. I thought it was great. And I'm not a superhero guy. I still thought it was pretty cool. It was a lot of cliches about it.
Yeah.
Like Superman cliches. Like, cool, I get it. Superman can fly. He can do all this shit. That's awesome. He saves people. Great. I want to see the darker side of things. Like the whole destruction scenes, like of the whole Metropolis getting, like, they didn't show anybody bleeding. They didn't show anybody getting really hurt. Like, they should show that stuff.
The problem is, for them to do that, as you ratchet up the violence, the ratings goes to R, and for big movie studios, they're worried about that.
Then that's disappointing, because artistically they could take that to the next level.
There is going to be a director's cut of the movie that we're going to see today, that I assume is going to be rated R. So that one should have more violence.
This one is not rated R because they want all the kids to watch it. Makes sense.
Made by the same director, who's Zach Snyder, and that's the thing. I think I liked how dark Man of Steel went for what it was.
Yeah, sure.
To show, which, maybe this is why I would agree with the Batman character in this movie. Having somebody with the power of Superman on Earth would be devastating in case anything goes wrong. And that's what the movie showed. And I'm a huge Zack Snyder fan, so that movie was visually, I would say, perfect. It was beautiful to look at.
It was super pleasing visually, especially on Krypton.
It was amazing.
Oh, yeah. So what are we hoping for this movie, for Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice?
I'm hoping that it will be good, but I'm expecting that it won't be that good. But here's the thing. It's Batman. I'm excited to see what Ben Affleck will do as Batman.
Sure, me too.
I can't imagine how them fighting is not going to be cheesy. Yeah. Because it logistically doesn't make sense to me in my head.
I know, logistically it makes no sense, but I'm sure Batman finds out how to get some krypton, and that's how he's able to...
Like put in his suit or something.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what he does.
I'm
excited about Lex Luthor, which I did not know about until last night. I read up about him. He has red hair, just like, what's his actor's name? He's really good.
I have his name. Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah.
He was in Social Network.
Yeah, he's a really good actor. I like him. But apparently he loses his hair out of like some kind of freak accident while he's fighting one of those two heroes. So I'm sure that's going to be in a movie. Has to be.
Yeah. Because the only other Lex Luthors I've ever seen in any movie or show, he's already been bald. So they never explained how he gets it.
And he seems like an older gentleman too. This guy's young.
Mm-hmm. I read somewhere that he could be, somebody said he's the other Lex Luthor's son, which doesn't make any sense to me at all.
I don't know. But the introduction of Wonder Woman, again, it's like, it's already far-fetched to have Superman and Batman in the same universe.
Do you know, it's not just her. Aquaman is going to be in this movie.
That's not great.
No.
So all of a sudden you get all these like, where these guys come from, you know?
They're trying to, we'll talk about this when we come back from the break, but they're trying to set up the universe for the next movies that are coming out. So Suicide Squad is going to be next, which Batman is going to be in.
Those movies are all going to be great. Let's just, I'm sure they're going to be good. I mean, Suicide Squad seems to be pretty cool already. Yeah. Just like the Joker's back and he's
so excited,
more terrifying than ever.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of upset at the idea that, you know, Marvel started doing their movies. I guess that's the Avenger movies.
Yeah, the Avenger lineup, basically.
Yeah, the Hulk, Iron Man, all these movies. And they've been doing this for quite some time now, and they're making a bunch of money. And then Star Wars is like, okay, we got to catch up to those guys because they're taking all the money.
It's the same company as far as I think distributing it. So Disney, I think, owns both Marvel and Star Wars rights. So basically, that the way it is that you're absolutely right. It's basically,
and now DC's doing the same thing. They want to catch up.
Warner Brothers is trying to figure out how they can catch up because their movies like Batman sells, right?
So Warner Brothers is DC.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're happy with the way Batman works, but that's the only thing they have that sells really well.
Yeah.
So obviously they keep redoing it over and over again. And that's what they're trying to do is with this DC comic book universe lineup that's coming up soon. It's crazy to me that these things are planned for the next like 10 years.
It's all money, man. It's all in the name of how they can profit.
So we'll see. Because today, I mean, this movie that we're going to see is kind of a big deal. We'll see how it goes. But so here's what we're going to do. We are going to take a break now and actually go see the movie.
Yeah.
So for you guys, it'll be a quick like 30-second break. We'll come back and we'll discuss our thoughts about the movie Batman versus Superman.
We'll have some music for you too. Alrighty, see you in like what, 10, 20 seconds?
Sure.
Bye.
Bye.
And we are back. We just came back from the movie. It literally came out like 6 minutes ago.
Yeah, we're back. On the way back, we decided that this podcast is not going to be about movies anymore. We're going to talk about Trump and he's going to make America great again.
All right. So, hey, first question right off the bat. How many stars out of 10 do you give this movie?
Oh, shit. The whole movie has like
just really quickly.
6 out of 10, probably.
Yeah, same here. 6, 7, perhaps 6.5.
Like individual sequences, there would be like 10 out of 10 if I had to pick a few. But the movie as a whole, 6 out of 10.
Yeah. I feel like they banked a lot on like cool one shooters, like Superman, like his silhouette on the fire background.
I agree.
Shit like that. It's like, come on.
They were beautiful though. Those shots were beautiful. But
beautiful
the movie
shots.
as a whole doesn't stand too strongly.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Dude, first things first, what movie theater did we see Star Wars in?
AMC.
They got their shit together, man. Those seats are awesome.
Yeah, but that was a small room. Maybe that was a special room, and we went to see that movie like weeks later.
Oh yeah, so
this came out yesterday.
I had leg space. Today I did not have leg space.
Yeah, it was not a comfortable experience.
All right.
Thanks, Hard Cans. Just kidding.
Yeah, we want our money back. So now that we're back, we're gonna talk about Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice, directed by Zach Snyder, written by David Goyer, who, if you didn't know, he has written a whole bunch of superhero movies that you've probably seen. Like he wrote the Batman trilogy.
All three?
Batman Begins, Dark Knight.
It did have a darker Batman tone to it. Why did they have to keep? Why did they do that every new Batman coming out? They explain like
The beginning?
Yeah.
I agree.
Like I did not like the movie was already 2.5 hours long. That first whole opening Batman kid funeral, parents dying
You
thing.
didn't like it?
No. It's like, okay, I know.
I think it's been done 1,000 times before, so I agree. They don't need to do it anymore. But they did do it in a way that was a little bit different. Like, I don't want to say different because it's not drastically different. It is almost like shot by shot to what Batman Begins was at the beginning.
Yeah.
But the fact that they made it into a dream instead of a memory was cool. And the fact that how savagely Batman's mother was killed. Like in the other ones, you're just like right in the face, dude. Like in the other ones, you're just like, oh, they died. This one's like point blank right in the face.
Yeah, but it was not. The killer did not mean to do it, but it was still like unfortunate. Either way, who gives a shit? Everybody knows his parents got killed in front of him. Why do they have to keep telling the same freaking story? It's really annoying to me.
I was thinking about that since they started showing it. The only reason I can think of is because they want to have a Batman for every generation of folks.
Sure. Hey, did we tell people there's going to be spoiler alert?
Well, that's the beginning of the movie. Yes. Well, if you didn't know, Batman's mother and father.
Yes. Just
but
so
yes,
we're going to talk about the whole movie. There's going to be spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, if you like the effect of surprise, do not listen to this.
Yeah, go see the movie and then you can come back and listen to it. But as of right now, be warned, there's a whole bunch of spoilers. But like, I want to try to structure this in any way I can. But the first thing I want to say, as far as characters, I like Batman. I think Batman's character was the highlight of the whole movie for me.
I like Batman. I mean, Wonder Woman was... She's mysterious all the way through. She's beautiful, of course, and that's like that makes up for more. To me, she's like the cooler character. But then Batman is a close second. Superman, I just don't care about.
I agree. I stopped caring about Superman. Dude. Well, so let's talk about Batman first.
Right.
First thoughts about this Batman versus like Christian Bale, or I haven't forgot who the guy before him was.
I like him better. I like Ben Affleck's Batman better.
I agree.
Than Christian Bale. He looks a little older. That's great. He's just a little more like
He's more angry.
Yeah, he's like a little angrier. He's like darker, definitely. I don't know. It was cool. I like this Batman. I like Alfred. It was great. Great part of this movie. He had some great one-liners.
And this Batman is no longer the Nolan trilogy Batman that is like, I don't use guns, I don't kill people.
Right, this
he
Batman
definitely uses
like,
guns, and I think a lot of people died because of it.
Yeah, he shoots a lot of people.
He definitely does.
I really enjoyed the his dream. He had that's a premonition dream right there.
He had 2 or 3 dreams, and
well,
you and I
first
disagree
one.
on one of them.
Huh?
Which one?
The first one where he's starting to download the chip he got from Lex's computer.
You don't think that was Robin, by the way? That came out of the...
Maybe it was. I don't know. It was definitely a premonition, though. I mean, you get the huge Omega sign, which I just read is probably an older Superman villain. He has, in the dream, you see like Batman battling some other people. There's people with wings. It's kind of weird. So it can't like, there's no other explanation for this dream other than the next movie.
Correct. And if it's not just a dream, they're establishing how powerful that next villain is going to be, because he got overtaken by that villain in the dream, at least. Very easily,
I mean, Superman still appears in the dream, but that might have just been Bruce's imagination. Because by that point, he already knows he's probably going to have to take Superman down somehow.
So, so we both established that we like Ben Affleck's Batman a lot better.
Yeah, yeah.
How about
I was
Superman?
never a fan of Christian Bale's.
You didn't?
No.
I liked it. I did, but as I keep watching it, as an older I get, I kind of give up on the Nolan trilogy. It's trying too hard to be real and.
Yeah. I mean,
how about Superman? Did you?
I don't like this Superman either.
You don't like him?
But again, I've never been a Superman fan, so it's the only Superman I know pretty much. I just don't like Superman that much.
It's not much of a character that you can enjoy. Like, he has ultimate power. There's not much struggle to him.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
I agree. I like the movies, but as far as characters, when you put it next to Batman, it's obviously you like one more than the other. But you like Wonder Woman, right? I like Wonder Woman too.
Yeah, great character.
I I like the actress that played Wonder Woman. Her name is Gal Gadot. One thing I didn't like is I don't like how sexualized like her outfit is. Like if you're a warrior, you would not dress up like that. It's totally fine. I mean, she looks freaking hot.
Sure, but at the same time, same thing for the bat suit or Superman's
the
body
chest.
type.
Yeah,
Like, they're all like badass mannequins, and so is the girl. You know, like.
But
Whatever.
I liked her. I liked her character arc in the whole movie.
I like her fierce look to her. She's fierce.
So we'll do a quick synopsis of the movie. Basically, the movie opens up with the events of Man of Steel. And I can say easily that opening sequence, which again, like Zack Snyder does opening sequences like no other. The events that happen in Metropolis from the point of view of Bruce Wayne were amazing. That opening sequence of him driving through the city as it's pretty blowing up was incredible. Like I was getting excited.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. So yeah, he right off the bat he doesn't like Superman because Superman's the reason why Metropolis gets like partially destroyed. You get the ship on top like blasting its gravity weapon or whatever, and he's seeing people dying. He's saving this guy. He saves the little girl. He's only there because his building is threatened by the destruction, and it's Bruce Wayne. And then later on, you learn that Metropolis and Gotham City are adjacent. There's only like some water between them,
really close to each other.
Yeah, and they had to do that for the story, I guess. So it starts with that, and right away you're like, all right, Bruce Wayne does not like Superman. And then remind me what happens after that. And that's
one thing is
2 years later is when this movie picks
18
up.
months. But I do like, I don't know if you and I were talking about it before, how the death toll, or actually simply the violence and the death in the Man of Steel wasn't really that apparent. I do like how in the opening of this movie, they made it very clear that people died. Like a lot of people died. They showed like personal, like one of Bruce's employees in the building, that girl's mother. Just to make it clear, a whole bunch of people died as a reminder. Yeah. And this is where
But they still kept that PG-13.
Oh yeah, they did. And then so yeah, the movie jumps 18 months, and that's basically where the movie picks up. It's 18 months after, where Batman's anger has been building up. Superman has been kind of being idolized this whole time as this great hero that we have had.
Yeah.
And it takes up.
Hey, why does Clark Kent? Why does Superman start looking into Batman over the past few months? What's his beef against Batman?
I think he mentions it because he doesn't like this whole vigilante.
Why hasn't he gone after him yet then?
Like personally, I think that's where the movie picks up, is from him deciding that he wants to go after him.
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't really like the Batmobile. I didn't like last Batmobiles. I just don't like.
I think it was fine.
Yeah.
I think it was like an overpowered tank, which is what the Batmobile is always supposed to be.
It kind of looks like the old one, but not as tanky.
I think that they try to do a whole bunch of things where, because they know there's going to be a crossover between people who like the Nolan trilogy and this one. So they try to make it somewhat similar.
Yeah.
But I like the Batmobile. I mean, it was cheesy, obviously, because you're looking at this point, you're like, yeah, that's not going to be real ever.
It was more realistic than the Nolans.
The Nolan one was an actual real car that they worked on for a long time.
This one was like tighter, smaller, more realistic. I don't know. It behaved more like a car to me.
And then they had a whole sequence, like I would say midpoint through the movie, or maybe it was the beginning of the third act, where Batman's going through the streets and destroying things with a car, and then like grapple hooks another car to the back of his own. Oh, that was just insane.
If I was Batman, though, if I was living in a city like tight as New York, I would probably just drive a smart car.
Yeah.
Just because, how are you going to manage this huge tank-like car around there? Anyways, so then what happens? Lex Luthor gets introduced.
Yeah.
So Wonder Woman gets introduced. You don't know it's her, but you kind of pick that up, pick up on it.
Lex Luthor gets introduced as a son of a billionaire business owner who basically Lex has taken over that business now. And weird character. I think the acting of Jesse, you're hopping in your chair. The acting of Jesse Eisenberg was good. Like he was a strange character to the point that I no longer was like.
Yeah, he was my favorite actor in that movie.
You think so?
Favorite performance for me.
Oh, for me it was Batman. But I agree. He was a close second.
Like face trembling here and there when he's mad or scared or pissed off. It's great.
Like he stutters when he gets angry and lost.
Yeah.
And
he's like the true mad scientist bad guy dude.
Yeah. And one thing I don't know if I liked or didn't like, didn't spend so much time trying to build him into the villain. Like he was already at that crazy mindset at the beginning of when he got introduced.
Yeah.
You just learn more and more about it as the movie goes on. But he was never like, I'm evil because of this thing that happened to me. He's just evil like that.
What happened to him?
Well, he mentioned something about his dad growing up. But I think he believes, and he might rightfully be smarter than most other folks.
I think it's cool that pretty much at the beginning of the movie, when he has his party and invites people over, when he meets Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne, he already knows who they are.
Yeah.
He must know who Batman is.
You think so?
Well, he knows who Clark Kent is.
Well, did he mention that? But you think because of the jokes, like, don't pick a fight with this guy? You're talking about...
Well, not just that, but at the end, how does he say, when he's like, I know who you are, I got your mother hostage.
Oh, you're right.
Like, how does he know that? So that means he must have known that for a while. Now, I don't know about Batman.
I think you might be right. Now that you mentioned
I don't know if he knows about Batman. He probably knows about Wonder Woman too, if he's kept like files on her, you know?
And he's been following her, so yeah.
Yeah.
So that's interesting that he invited all three of them to the initial party in his house.
Yeah. So he has this party, and then what?
I don't want to go scene by scene, but he has a party. That's introduction between Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent and Wonder Woman.
Tension builds up between Superman and Batman, which is pretty much the whole movie, Batman versus Superman. At the same time, Lex Luthor gets some kind of deal with the government, and he's able to go into the crashed
both of the crash sites. Actually, the one in the Indian Ocean and the one in Chicago.
He's allowed to go there. And he's able to like get in the ship, brings the body of
General
Zod, and somehow they didn't really dwell into explaining how he was able to do that, but he uses the Krypton ship technology to use his own blood and reincarnate Zod into this huge monster that everybody ends up fighting in the end. Blah blah blah. Superman dies, or wink. Who knows?
Yeah. The whole ship thing that he takes over the ship, like he goes in. I feel like that's a plot hole. I don't understand
Big time.
How, like, you just say a normal human kid can walk into a ship and this kryptonite technology is like, hey, you want to take over? It's like, yeah.
That makes no sense.
It's like, from now on, you're my ship. Like, I
override the whole system to my likings, please.
I feel like that was a plot hole. And honestly, like, as the movie went on, I feel like it should have had less to do with Superman. I would have been fine if it was Lex and Batman and Wonder Woman. Like, anything that, like, obviously the action sequences with Superman were great.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, you're less of an interesting character.
He's I again, I don't know what it is about Superman for me that I don't like. It must be the suit. I don't know where it is.
So, what are your thoughts on the action of the movie?
Oh, great. Action was cool, but nothing like we've never seen before.
I agree. And I'm getting tired of the whole, there's a huge monster, let's fight the huge monster. I feel like that monster and the design of that monster, I forgot what is the name of that thing.
I don't know. But you know what that makes me think about? I am hoping that all these movies, especially the superhero movies, become more I don't know if I'm using the right terms, but psychological thrillers instead of action movies. Because again, like, where can they take it? Like, explosions are bigger, more parts of the city gets destroyed. Yeah, we get it. It's just gonna keep getting worse and worse. Like,
and remember the trailers at the beginning of the movie? They're all like superhero movies where the city gets destroyed, explosions are huge. It's
all the same thing. It's getting annoying.
I really hope that there's gonna be some sort of a huge action movie, superhero movie fatigue soon, where people are like, it's the same thing over and over again.
Oh, it's probably gonna happen.
I hope it happens. Maybe but at the same time, I hope it happens, and then M. Night Shyamalan comes in and is like, all right, here's Unbreakable 2. Like, just to show you guys how good you can make a superhero movie.
Yeah.
I like the action too. I enjoy the action, but I was less impressed by it compared to Man of Steel even.
I think, I like Man of Steel action, I think, better, because it was not as, like, there's too many things. You got Batman who's a real guy, and all of a sudden you got Wonder Woman who has, like, this whip and shit. It's like so many different details now. It's hard to, and this I don't know, man. I'm gonna give this movie a 6 for you. I'm just gonna stick to the 6.
I agree with the 6.
I really like Batman.
I do too.
I really like
he
Wonder
killed it.
Woman.
He was great.
He was great in it. And I think out of all these characters that were introduced, I mean, Flash was introduced.
Yeah.
Aquaman was introduced. Wonder Woman was heavily introduced. Out of all these people, I'm excited about the next Batman movie.
I know, and I really hope it happens. I hope this movie doesn't flop.
Yeah.
Because there's theories that actually Ben Affleck is going to make that next Batman movie. Not only he's going to act in it, he's going to direct in it. Because I heard rumors that he was actually heavily involved in writing the Batman character for this movie when he got hired. He brought in his own writer to make that, and he did a good job.
Yeah.
The Batman character was great.
Yeah. Best character.
Everything else was just
Yeah. Well, I mean, Lex was great too.
Lex was great. Yeah. One thing I was going to say about the action in Man of Steel, the action meant something because you're watching it as, like, for example, as a city gets destroyed, you're seeing this whole live city get destroyed. But in this movie, in the third act, when they're coming back into the metropolis, like they cut to CNN and Anderson Cooper is like, oh, well, it's nice that it's after work, so there's nobody in downtown. So you're like, oh, okay. So the downtown's empty, so you guys get to just play around with it. Like there's you don't feel like there's a consequence for their actions.
Yeah.
And the moment where Doomsday, which is by the way the name of the character, when Doomsday picks up, I think Superman throws Superman or Superman throws Doomsday into a building and the building starts crumpling down. I'm like, oh, here we go again. So they're just going to destroy another city for no reason.
Yeah. I know.
It's funny how disappointed both of us are.
And I hope we don't lose listeners that we only have like 12 right now probably.
Yeah, I was gonna say all 2 of our listeners.
Well, I guess they brought it up. I guess Batman brought that up at the end of the funeral, like something about, I don't know who answered him. Maybe it was Wonder Woman, but
what do you mean?
The American people is the best way they can honor him is
as a soldier,
a military soldier thing. Because like before that happened, I was like, oh gosh, another like overly patriotic, like scene that doesn't really need to be there. Again, do they make that because they know the people are watching are mainly American?
I think that's part of. I read something actually quite a few years ago before Man of Steel came out. I don't know if it was somebody in an official interview or maybe it was somewhere online that was just reading theories. Is Superman is the way America sees itself. And Batman is the way that America either should be or the rest of the world sees America. So Superman gets this patriotic thing with, red and blue and everything's amazing. And Batman is the tough one that maybe is doing things it shouldn't be doing, but it believes it's doing it for the greater good.
Wow.
So that kind of makes sense.
That's cool.
Superman dies. I mean, supposedly.
Well, at the end you see some dirt,
the dirt on
levitating, which is the same thing that happens when Superman first learns how to fly.
Ooh.
So
I was gonna ask you, what does that mean? Because I couldn't think of. I thought he couldn't levitate things, but that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Who knows? And I'm sure he's gonna be brought back.
Do you think he's gonna be in Justice League? Because he has to be, right? He's part of the Justice League. I don't even know
what Justice League is.
Justice League is DC's version of the Avengers.
Oh, that's right. It's got Batman, Superman,
it's gonna
Wonder
have Flash,
Woman.
everybody.
Yeah. Right. They're gonna bring him back probably using Kryptonian technology of some sort. Like, who knows? Who knows?
So he dies. It's an emotional scene, and the whole time,
first he gets impaled big time.
He does, and the scene afterwards, it's all sad, and there's a funeral thing. And honestly, like at first I was like, oh, this is sad. They kill Superman, and then I'm like, oh, he's gonna come back. Like before the end of this movie, something's gonna be like, oh, he's back, and it does. And I'm getting tired of those cliches. Like somebody needs to do something unique in superhero movies.
The sad parts in those movies are not sad anymore.
Yeah,
just like the action in those action movies are not.
Like honestly, like
cool
if we're supposed to feel sad, let us feel sad. Yeah. Like why be like, oh no, don't worry, he's gonna be okay. Why do it?
But again, it's all I believe that kind of emotions drawn. This kind of they have the sad scenes and stuff. It's all about acting in there.
Yeah.
And of course directing, like the angles and stuff. But like if the actor's not, then we're not gonna feel sad about it. They also have to be shot the right way and stuff.
One thing I was really impressed by was the music and just the sound design as a whole. I picked up on this, that you know how at the beginning of the movie when Bruce Wayne goes to Metropolis and he's hearing the sound of his city of that city getting destroyed. You know, the world engine, that unique sound that it makes. Yeah. I like how as the movie went on, up until the point that Batman and Superman actually make friends and they have the truce, all the way up to before then, the filmmakers, to convey the point of uneasiness that Bruce Wayne is feeling, whenever it cuts to him, and especially whenever it cuts to him thinking or dreaming or whatever it is, where he's not just talking, but he's feeling uneasy, the tension's building, they add that sound of the world engine really slightly in the background. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. That's a really cool way of doing it. Like as far as the production of it, it was impressive. But the movie itself, like honestly, I feel like giving a 6 would almost be too much.
No, it's still like, the production value. A lot of big work went into that. Mm-hmm. Back to Batman's dreams.
Yes. So he has 3 dreams. He has the beginning of the movie. That's a dream for him, right? Actually, 2 dreams.
What beginning of the movie?
The whole beginning of the movie, his childhood is not a flashback. It's a dream.
What do you say that?
Because A, because he mentions it's a dream, and B, because he flies in it. Batman doesn't fly.
Oh, that's right. I was like, oh yeah, I remember what I was thinking when I was just like, wow, maybe the bats really gave him powers. Yeah, because I'm thinking, okay, they have Superman who can fly, and maybe they made this Batman a little cooler and give him some kind of bat power.
I completely agree, because when that scene came up, I was like, oh, Batman flies now? like from childhood? It's
sweet. Let's do this. Well, that was the first dream.
But the more important one is the one that you're talking about.
Is when he finally gets his drive back from
Wonder
the lady
Woman.
who, you eventually learn she's Wonder Woman. And
Diana Prince.
As it's downloading, he has this dream, and he's in the desert wearing a cool Batman outfit, and he meets some people with guns, goes into a trailer, opens a box. The bad guy tells him, like, we have it.
And it's supposedly supposed to be the kryptonite.
You think it's kryptonite because it glows green, but then you look, it's like
old school light bulbs that are just shining green light. That's all it is.
Yeah, it looks like a weapon because they were tied to some kind of little box. Mm-hmm. And then things bad, like it's just people start dying left and right. Bruce Wayne is hunted, and eventually he's surrounded by these guys wearing the Superman emblem / creatures with wings.
First, I thought the winged creatures were with Batman. And then I was like, oh, they're not with Batman.
They're not.
They weren't.
They're not. But as you get there, you see at the beginning of that scene, like you see Batman. He's getting to that compound to check this box, and he sees this huge Omega emblem in the ground.
Dirt, yeah.
And so I just checked one website really quick, and it says it's I don't know what his name is, but it's a bad guy.
The ultimate supervillain.
A big bad guy that, and that's probably what Bruce Wayne's referring to after the funeral to Wonder Woman. Like he
has a feeling that
we need to get Aquaman and Flash and all of us on board to, because something's gonna happen. It's just a feeling, he says.
Mm-hmm. Before you move on, that dream sequence, which by the way, it was like kind of an Inception dream sequence because it was a dream within a dream, but yeah, it was. But
why was it a dream within a dream?
Because remember, he wakes up from that dream, and he sees the other dream, and then he wakes up from that one.
The small dream following that desert dream is...
Which I think that's Robin. And only the reason I'm saying I think it's Robin because I want it to be
What
Robin.
does it tell him? I couldn't even
He
hear.
says, come get us. It's Lois Lane. Lois Lane is a key. You have to find us. Come help us.
But that has to be in the future. Because right now, Flash and Aquaman do not want to be found out.
But I think that's Robin. Because Robin is dead in this movie.
I guess so. They don't even really talk about him.
I think that's the way it goes, supposedly, is that, and that's why he looks at that suit with the haha thing from Joker in there. I think
that was Robin's suit?
I think that was Robin's suit. And I think the story goes that Joker kills Robin.
All right.
But then who was that guy?
What makes you think just because the writings on that suit?
Well, just because I've been trying to read things online before this movie came out, like a year ago, they were saying the story, like the actual comic book story, is that I think Joker kills Robin. Or another thing, which I hope this doesn't spoil any movies that are coming up, is Joker is Robin, which that would be a really cool
That'd be a
twist,
cool twist.
for Suicide Squad if Joker is Robin going dark.
I mean, Suicide Squad
Looks great.
He's like a skinny guy,
Yeah.
young skinny guy. Maybe that would work. And that has to be it, dude. Because when one of the conversation Bruce and Alfred have is Bruce saying, you know, not all good guys stay good.
Yeah, and
a lot of them
he
goes
says
bad.
we know that. He says,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that might be it, dude.
That would be
Do you
great
think
if
that truth is gonna come out in the Suicide Squad?
I don't know.
I mean, it's heavy on Joker. And you remember when in the preview for that movie, we're getting off tangent, but that's okay. In the preview for Suicide Squad, the government gets all these bad guys. Joker is not one of them.
No,
I think he joins that group later.
I agree. And you
Maybe
know what's
they're
interesting?
fighting him, but something. So
That this actually ties. In the trailer, you see all of them within this complex. One of them is wearing this huge like panda hat for no reason, and they're shooting up this place, right? Dude, I could be wrong, and I probably am because I'm wrong in a lot of things about movies. But that sequence that they show the shooting up in a complex, which you don't know, it's a fucking trailer. You don't know what it is for. That sequence crosses.
are
the
you talking
timeline.
about the dream?
No, I'm talking about the trailer
the preview
of Suicide Squad.
All right.
They're shooting up this place. It has like white walls and stuff. That sequence is a crossing of the paths with this movie that we just saw. That sequence follows because all of a sudden out of nowhere you cut to this scene of Lex Luthor coming back to his research shop, remember?
Right.
And there's bullet shells everywhere, and then there's a bat symbol thing.
Yeah,
where
but that's
the rock
Batman. I came and get the crypt. He came to get the kryptonite.
but you don't see that sequence. I'm assuming that sequence is going to be part of Suicide Squad.
So you think Batman gets in a fight with some other people?
Yeah, because we already know Batman is in Suicide
What would
Squad.
they be doing there?
I think they might be going to steal that thing. Maybe they're going to steal the same thing. And because the only thing we know from Batman so far in Suicide Squad is that he's in it and there's a chase.
Batman's in it?
Yeah. And there's a chase sequence with him on top of Joker's car. Remember the Joker and Harley Quinn in a sports car, and it's all fancy to drive. I mean, not Batman. Joker and Harley Quinn are driving in this fancy car. Batman's supposedly on top of it.
Huh.
Yeah. So dude, that's just my theory, and I hope I win like millions of dollars.
What would they be there? Because we don't know what the government is hiring them to fight.
Correct.
We don't know anything.
Yeah.
So,
But there's crossovers, obviously, and I know for a fact that he'll be in it.
that's interesting. Cool.
I'm kind of sad that both of us feel the same way about this movie because I was hoping one of us would just love the shit out of it and the other one would maybe hate it, and we're both like, eh.
I didn't hate it. I'm just like underwhelmed.
I agree. I completely agree. I'm trying to see what my notes here are so we can talk about it. We talked about the music, the story and acting. I think overall was good, but it's just that it was a movie that probably didn't need to be made, and it would have been better if it was just a simple Batman movie, as opposed to making a Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna agree on that. The sound design was pretty cool too, but again, like some of these things are way too loud, and you like especially when the big monster at the end, like he keeps exploding when you hit it.
I know, and he keeps getting bigger, and it's so annoying. It's almost like the same monster from like the Incredible Hulk movie. And
yeah, it's also the same monster as Resident Evil.
just seriously, like either we've hit our capacity for designing new and
How many
unique
people
things
do you think died
in this movie?
In this movie,
not even nearly remotely
like
as
a real number would be like millions.
No, not in this movie. In Man of Steel, I think the estimate that people have come up with is like 25,000. In this movie, it's not even 1,000.
Are you serious? You know how many buildings get? Like,
yeah, but
hurt?
remember they established that they're empty. Like bad guys die, so I'm assuming like roughly probably a few hundred bad guys because holy shit, they're dying left and right.
Thousands
now.
of people are dying in that movie.
Oh man, I'm trying to think of what else we can.
Both their moms are named Martha.
Which I didn't know about. I don't know much about their story, but
I don't know how much of that is from the old stories or if it's new for the plot development here. I don't know. Because like, what else would have like saved Superman? Because Batman was about to kill him.
yeah,
So
and maybe he should have.
credits go down.
I know.
The movie's over.
The movie's
Yay.
over. Obviously, Batman wins.
I would have been happy with that.
Like honestly, like The more I think about it, the more I'm impressed by the character of Batman, whoever made it. And obviously this one, I believe, is based on the Frank Miller Batman. And they did a fantastic job with Batman in this movie. From the acting, from writing.
The darker Batman.
Yeah, it's great. Everything about it is fantastic.
Yeah,
Even
to me, this was more of a Batman movie.
I wish it would have been more of a Batman movie. And I'm okay even with Wonder Woman. I'm impressed by Wonder Woman. Hey, she's a badass. She's smart. And obviously she kicks major ass.
Yeah.
And that ending sequence... By the way, that ending, like the third act of the movie, actually the later half of the third act, which is just a crazy action sequence between Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman fighting Doomsday. What the hell does Batman do during that whole sequence? Like he hides for the first 5-10 minutes.
No, he hits him hard with
the gun,
with
one
the kryptonite.
shot.
Yeah, but it's a kryptonite.
So yeah, he hides for the first 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, he has to. He's human, dude.
And then he's like, all right, I'm gonna shoot him once. That's roughly what he does.
Well, he
from
had
far
to-
away. He's like, you guys go.
But he had to like really, make sure he had a good shot.
First, I was like, oh, he's gonna go get that spear.
Yeah.
And then it's like, no, we got Lois for that.
Yeah. Why didn't he go get the spear?
Literally, dude, he barely did anything at all during that fight scene.
Better let the superheroes take care of it.
Yeah.
I'm just a man in a suit.
And when he shoots him, like when they cut to him, he is so far away. he's like half a mile away, picking around a rock. He's like, I'm okay. Oh my god. Actually, the more I talk about it, the more disappointed I get in the movie.
Gosh, yeah. I mean,
Wonder Woman is coming out, and I showed you the image of it, the first official image.
yeah.
And I'll post on the website so anybody that's listening can look at it too. I think it looks ridiculous. Like
Hold on. So
these
it's
whole
got,
outfits.
I've seen it once. I haven't seen it since earlier today.
Yeah,
but it's pretty much 4 women dressed up like warriors.
Not like warriors, because
Well, they have swords, don't they?
they have swords and shields, but
They're
like,
like
need
warriors.
they need to hire a historian and be like, no, people didn't dress up like this when they
Well,
fought.
it's fiction.
It is fiction.
And they're by like the sea. There's mountains and stuff. And in one of those women's is Wonder Woman from the movie we just saw. And the one over on the right is
Claire Underwood.
It's Claire Underwood.
Robin Wright, but let's assume that
she doesn't
Claire
want to be a
Underwood.
president anymore. She wants to be a badass fighter now.
Yeah, and that's the story of House of Cards actually built into Wonder Woman.
Exactly.
Dude, let's write this. Let's make that happen. Do we have anything else to say about Batman versus Superman?
I'm good to go, man. This is all right.
I'm like, yeah, we give it 6 out of 10. Like it could have been a lot better.
We're really harsh critics then.
I don't think so.
All right. Well,
Like, here's the thing: it's not an awful movie. You will absolutely enjoy renting it. You'll enjoy going to the movie to
it's
see
a
it.
great movie to eat pizza to.
Yeah, absolutely. But don't expect any. It's not an art piece. It doesn't have any big messages.
Well, the one mind blowing part of that movie to me is when Bruce Wayne, like he's looking through the drive that he just got from Lex Luthor, and he finds out there's Wonder Woman and there's Flash and there's
Aquaman,
these
yeah.
guys. Which those emblems I didn't know what they meant, but I knew Wonder Woman was the first one on the left. And then I realized that was Flash. So I didn't know what the other two were, but that was pretty cool, I thought.
Yeah, and you know what's really interesting? I'm gonna look this up because I forgot the guy's name. In the Wonder Woman picture, did you see who else was in it?
No.
His name is Chris Pine, guy
Oh.
from Star Trek.
Wait, what picture?
In the actual Wonder Woman picture from like 1918, I think it was the year that they said that picture was taken.
Oh, cool. One of the
Yeah.
Belgium, or wait, was it?
It looked like Germany. It looked like almost.
Well, no,
like,
it says Belgium.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so yeah, one of those guys is Chris Pine. So I assume he's
think
going to
it
be in the
does.
Wonder Woman movie.
The Wonder Woman's probably gonna pick up from like way back in the day.
Yeah, it's going to be like I assume it's going to be the story of why she left humanity 100 years ago, which is what she said.
And that picture's probably in the closing of that movie. Anyways,
Yeah,
speculating.
we might be disappointed by big budget action. superhero movies.
I've never been a fan of superhero movies, man. It's not my thing. But
Like
anyways,
they can be really good. They can be. I think Batman Begins and even Dark Knight. Well, Dark Knight itself is a really great movie. Not so much you don't even have to think about superhero movies. I think it was great, and Joker made it fantastic. But you're nodding your head. But Like Dark Knight Rises was I might be over it. I might be getting too old for this stuff.
Yeah, I just didn't like those Batman movies.
I had a coworker of mine, like as I was leaving yesterday, I was leaving the office. He's like, "Hey, you gonna go see Superman?" I'm like, "Yeah," and he was telling me about it, and he's like, "Those are the kind of movies that you don't go for anything other than special effects. Like that's the only reason you should."
I kind of agree.
Yeah, he's right. It's sad. Well, this kind of ties into the next 2 weeks of our episodes.
Next week is House of Cards season 4 with Claire Underwood turning into Wonder Woman's friend.
That's going to be our whole episode. Is we're going to come up with the writing gap that the Netflix team needs to do between House of Cards and Wonder Woman, and it can't be that difficult.
No. Come on.
Hey, they need to travel back in time, but aside from that, it'll be fine. No, we'll talk about House of Cards season 4. We'll touch base on the first 3 seasons.
Sure.
Because I think we have to.
Yeah.
But then we'll talk about what we think of the season as a whole. And not so much like episode per episode, but we want to talk about the overarching themes of the show and where it's going. Because
progression.
Yeah. Because it is actually, it's one of those shows that, like it or hate it, it's progressing in a way that not every season is like the season before. Every season is different. And we're going to talk about that. And then the episode after, in the following week, we're going to be talking about Upstream Color. And honestly, deep down inside, this is my hope of showing Remy that supposed...
I have no idea what that movie is about.
Superhero and superpower movies can be good. And I can tell you...
Well, Unbreakable was great.
Yeah, and me telling you superpower, this movie has barely anything to do with superpowers. But just watch it. It's beautiful. I think it's great. And then we'll have a discussion about it because it's not an action movie in any sort of way.
All right.
And let's see... I'm looking at my notes that I wanted to ask you. Does seeing this movie change your thoughts on Man of Steel at all?
No. Man of Steel was twice as... I don't know. I don't want to say something I'm going to regret.
Yeah.
I like Man of Steel a lot. I like this movie less.
Okay.
But I like Batman better than Superman.
I agree.
Yeah.
I so agree. And I have a feeling, like I see these posts online and it might be just marketing or people just trying to catch on to something that's in the news. They're like, hey, I'm Batman. My wife is for Superman or things like that. I'm like, no. Like people either like Batman or they're just like, we'll go see the movie. I can't imagine somebody be like, yeah, I love Superman. Like what is there to love about Superman?
No, I mean, I have friends who love Superman.
Why?
It's Superman.
What is there to like about Superman?
It's a childhood thing, man.
It's frustrating.
It's like I like Dragon Ball Z.
I can't even imagine why.
It's lame.
Yeah,
but I love it. I love the characters. It's the same thing. I'm sure there's something in your childhood that you still love, like characters and stuff.
That's probably true.
Right,
Terminator. There you go. That's
okay, well, Terminator is cool for everyone.
It's a fantastic movie.
Did you see the last one?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything compared to T2 is going to be in that series. Because T2 is a perfect movie. Anyway, I feel like we've hit the end of our discussion.
Yeah, totally.
So you guys know what's happening next couple of weeks. Leave us comments, subscribe, like, follow us. Let us know what you think. Engage in the discussion. We'll get back to you guys either as the week goes or even in the next episode because we want to really know what you guys are thinking. As much as Remy hates us, I'm going to make sure you guys know our music is produced by Remy and it's composed by him. I like the music.
Who's this guy?
We'll make it happen. So maybe he'll put it online so for everybody to listen to, but his style of music is really cool. So that's what you guys are going to hear in the break, at the beginning, and at the end of the show. This episode is going to be up on iTunes and everything, and I'm also going to upload it on our website, Steadio.com.
We have that ready now?
What do you mean?
Can you upload it on a website?
Yeah, I'm going to do that this weekend.
Nice.
It's going to take some time, but I'm going to do it this weekend. So again, thank you so much for listening.
Thanks for listening, guys. That was it's fun. We look forward to talk about these things that we like.
Yeah, and I really hope we are getting better. If we're not, let us know.
I think we should try to think of a topic that's not a movie.
I agree.
Not a TV show, something new. Like I noticed I mentioned some phones, the Nexus thing, but it'd be cool to do a podcast about the phones that we like, but it's been done so much. But maybe we should try it.
Market. We should try it. And you know what? This is a good time before we say bye, is we're going to do an episode about cereal.
Yeah, we're going to do an episode about another podcast. It's going to be our first 3-way.
It's going to be a podcast inception. But I'm excited about it. I'm excited about doing it. Honestly, I look forward to these every week.
Yeah. It's gonna be good.
Yeah. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for listening. I hope we didn't ramble on or interrupt each other for too long. I'm going to cut it off. I'm Nima.
I am Remy.
Have a great day, everybody. Thank you.